Hi, and welcome to the flipped recording for 1.15 Engineering. Don't forget to fill in your science notebook slide as we go through this lesson today. You want to be sure you're completing a slide each time you work in the lesson. That way you're not having to try and do it at the end. If you struggle with note-taking, listen for the parts of the lesson that I tell you to add to your notes page. I'll be covering the guiding questions as well, so be sure to jot down those answers. There are only two guiding questions in this lesson. One, what are some design constraints engineers must consider? And two, how do engineers start the process of creating design? All right, let's read through the lesson together. So as we get started, we've got the lesson introduction, and it's talking about engineers find solutions to problems. So in this lesson, you will design a solution to a problem, then you'll discuss your design with your classmates. Since we do not do discussions in middle school science, instead we're going to put the design that we create in our science notebook. So here are the lesson goals and again those two guiding questions. So we want to make sure that we get those answered. And again, I'll just take a little screenshot of those so I can make sure that we get both of those answered as we read through this very short lesson. All right, so once we get into the explore part of the lesson, there are only 2 pages here that we need to look through. Find solutions. So engineers find solutions to problems. The problem could range from developing the best packaging for a fragile object to designing a parachute for part of a rocket. Here's a problem that you're going to try to solve. A door is missing a bumper and it's caused a dent in the wall. So what are some questions that you might ask before considering a solution to the problem? So here are some examples. What materials can be used? How much can it cost? And how big does it need to be? So those are some things that we want to consider. Engineers design solutions to problems. They must consider the constraints of the design. So this is where your guiding question number 1 is answered. They need to consider the cost of the materials, time to develop the solution, and environmental impact. And then the next question says, how do engineers start the process of creating a design? So engineers often start by conducting research about the current available technology. So that is your answer to guiding question number 2. So take a look at some door bumpers. There are some pictures over here. How are they similar? It looks like they are made out of elastic materials, so you can see like some rubber pieces on all 3. And how are they different? One's mounted on the ground, one's mounted on the wall, and another is mounted low on the wall. All right, so our next page says to go ahead and construct and evaluate our models. So engineers construct models to compare different solutions. The models must be evaluated against the constraints of the problem to determine which solution is best. Consider this student's idea. To protect the wall from the doorknob could be wrapped in bubble wrap. What are some potential problems with this design? So the bubbles could pop and eventually that wouldn't work anymore. Next, the bubble wrap would make it harder to open the door. And finally, it wouldn't be environmentally friendly to replace the bubble wrap each time it is used up. So now engineers will test and revise. So they'll build a prototype or preliminary model and then test it out. From there, they want to compare the effectiveness of the models and revise them as they gather information about which models worked well and which ones did not. From there, they'll go ahead and design a solution. So consider what you've learned about elastic objects in this unit and apply it to designing a door bumper to protect a wall from being damaged by a doorknob. The door bumper should be bouncy enough that the wall is not damaged, but not too bouncy so that the door bounces back. The specific constraints of your design are outlined here. So this might be something you want to include on your slide for 1.15. You can put the design constraints are that it has to be attached either to the door, wall, or floor, and that it needs to be made with household items. After you design your bumper, you'll discuss with your classmates. And remember, you're not going to do that part of it. You'll just take a picture of your drawing, or if you actually create one, take a picture of that, and then put that picture in your notebook. And so that is the end of the explore portion of the lesson. If you look at the review, it just has you take a look at the following questions. So as we wrap up today, here's a quick overview. You're going to replace the discussion for this lesson by designing a bumper or doorstop based on the constraints given in the lesson, and you're going to include that image of your design in your notebook on the notes side of your slide. So that is all we have to do today. So your next steps are to look for the flip follow-up session for your Class Connect schedule next week and attend Help Lab if you need any extra help. Have a wonderful day.